Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 3 of What the Surf podcast. And an absolute pleasure. Here with me today is Beere, North Avoca nipper, Avoca Open competitor. Welcome back from Paris and thanks for coming along.
Thanks so much, Harold. It's so lovely to be here at Ocean Beach Surf Club and back to my roots on the Central Coast. It's awesome.
And that's what we're going to start talking about, your roots on the Central Coast. North Avoca was your home. You were the typical beachy growing up.
I definitely wasn't always a ski paddler. I got into ski paddling basically when everyone else did, but growing up I wasn't really focused too much on the water. I was into the flags and the beach sprint, and I loved everything about nippers. I just loved the energy and just being around the people on the beach and just supporting people in the public. So.
And being a North Avoca local too, always down the beach. So when you weren't on the beach, in the water catching waves, surfing?
Yes, we're always surfing, always at the beach, just loving the ocean, and I still love it now. Yeah.
And it's quite interesting, being a Central Coast local myself, speaking to the members that are still around that have, vast memories of you being a little nipper, sprinting up and down the beach. And then, like you said, you transition around under 14s, 15s, moved to Avoca, bigger squad, and then I guess a few more waves, and then that was probably that pivotal point where you've turned from left to right and then focused on the water.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, once I moved to Avoca, I was definitely way more focused on the ocean. Although one year I went to Aussies and I did the beach sprint and the ski. Those were my 2 main events, which is a little bit unusual, but I just love it. Yeah.
Any luck on those events? Finals?
Few finals, yeah. I think I got probably last in both finals at Aussies that year. So, but it was a lot of fun, and that's why we do it at the end of the day. So
that is it. So, all right, first Olympics, K4, also got a K2 in there as well. Talk us through your journey from transitioning from, I guess, focusing on the surf and the beautiful waves, getting out through the rip, catching all the runners, heading from north to south, from Avoca to North Avoca and back, to then getting onto the lake with the Avoca Kayak Club and then getting to this point where you are now.
Oh, it's been quite the journey. I started doing ski paddling, sprint kayaking for my ski paddling, and there was no real intention of taking it anywhere initially. I just wanted to get out on the lake with my friends and just have fun going around the island, just like the kids are now, and then I just keep progressing in that sport, and now I do both and love it.
So interesting point. So the 2K4s, men's and ladies we had at this Olympics, both number 1 paddlers were from Avoca Kayak Club.
Yeah, we were. Yeah, me and Riley. It was such an honour to be in the front of that boat, and for Riley as well to be in the front of the men's boat. It just goes to show that Avoca's got something special. So.
Definitely something in the water. So I know that you were down there this morning. They had a regatta on. Talk us through the memories that would have come flooding back, and then the energy that would have been down there from all the athletes having you in their presence.
Oh, it was wonderful. It's so exciting to have been from an event like the Olympics with that crowd to just coming down to this local event. And there was definitely it was such a contrast just to be going from Paris with that crowd to just coming down with all the parents and all the kids, and everyone's being so supportive, and that's where it all begins, that's where it all starts. So it was lovely just to see all the kids again, and I felt so loved. They were all coming up and wanting autographs, and I was like, wow, I've really inspired a generation, and it really hits you when you realise that.
Yeah, I know that inspiration doesn't just stop there. So you caught up with your Avoca girls last night for dinner. A couple of celebrity appearances, I guess, on your behalf, with kids coming to check in as such?
Sure was. Yeah, we were leaving dinner and a group of young girls came up and they wanted a photo, and I was just like, wow, these kids have seen me race, and they didn't mind that I didn't get a medal. They were just excited to see a girl from Avoca on TV. So I loved it. I loved seeing them, and I found out that they were actually watching me on the night of our K4 semi and final. And there was a whole group of kids down there watching Riley and I, and it just makes me feel so proud that I could give people something to be excited about, and to hopefully inspire them to get involved, and whether it's kayaking or another sport, just to keep pursuing their dreams. So.
All right, so let's go back to the dreams then. So I know that obviously beach is what it was. In winter, soccer was the sport?
Yeah, I did some soccer. I did quite a few sports growing up. I was just one of those kids. I just loved sport in general. I think soccer was one of my favourites. And so it was cool to watch all the soccer as well, like on the TV at this Olympics. I found that like it's quite funny when you're going to the Olympics, you get more interested in everything in general about the Olympics, and you're watching all the sports and all the Aussies, and hoping that you actually get to see some people at the closing ceremony. So yeah, it was good fun.
So a mindset must be an interesting thing. So I know that earlier we were talking about where you're kind of half in awe sometimes for having a conversation, then forgetting that you're a fan in that moment. So probably Emma McEwen.
Emma McKeon, yeah. Oh yeah, I was standing with Emma McKeon like at the Bubblers in the lounge in Perth before we came to Sydney, and I just said to her, I said, I wasn't really sure like how to finish off our conversation. I just said, I'm so proud of you. But then I thought about it. I was like, oh, I sound like a dad. Like she doesn't even know me.
No, you sound like the rest of the nation. So and as we are with you as well, like it was amazing. I was at the surf club that night on the Thursday. I was fully loaded up. People were there at 7, watched the semis. Everyone hung around to watch it at night. And then regardless of what the result was, just to lift the whole club through that, it was truly amazing. And I guess from a surf club standpoint and from a surf life saving movement, we thank you for that.
Oh, thanks so much, Harold. It's so lovely to hear like the amount of people that were there, and I'm glad we could put on a good show for them. And because I remember actually back in 2016 watching Lockie and Riley from Avoca Surf Club, and I was just so excited for them and the crowd there, and everyone was just thrilled, and it just brought the community together. So to then 8 years later, like be a part of that is incredible. Like,
so you might have thought about it, but not actually realised there was an actual pathway for you to make your way through kayaking and then back into surf, and then focusing on that to become an Olympian.
100%. Like I saw them on TV, and like I know that they're from the Central Coast where I'm from, but I never really thought like, oh yeah, that could actually be me as well. Like I thought like they're just amazing athletes. Like I sort of put myself apart from them. I didn't really see myself in the same category. And like I knew like in my heart I was going to give it a good crack, but until I actually made that team, I wasn't sure that I was ever going to get there. So yeah.
No, truly, truly special. Now, I want to focus in a little bit more now on Paris. So it was obviously a really grueling campaign to get there. K4 ladies, you had your specific program, you're working hard the whole way through. What were some of the obstacles you had to overcome, I guess, living away from home as a full-time athlete to try and do the best for yourselves, but then also, I guess, for the program and the nation?
Yeah, I think you've said it yourself. I think living away from home for quite an extended period of time overseas, like it was challenging, like just not being able to go and do some of the things that really ground me, like go for a surf, go to the coffee shop and have some really decent coffee in Australia, and just see friends outside the sport, and those things that you don't really think are really helping you top up your mental health, but they are. And so when you're in that environment overseas, you kind of have to come up with some new things that you might not have thought to try. Like I actually bought some paints one day because I was like, I'm going to do some painting. I'm going to become an artist and try and fill up my cup that way. So it does challenge you, but it also teaches you a lot about yourself.
Because I guess living on the Gold Coast and also here on the Central Coast, you do a hard session, you go to your gym, you do your flat water session, you go home, hop in your togs, and you just go release, unwind in the salt water and just float around.
Yeah, 100%.
Doesn't happen overseas.
Doesn't happen overseas. We actually were very lucky. When we went to Spain, we actually got to go to the ocean. So that would have been 4 weeks into the trip that we got to go to the beach in Spain. And I just remember like laying in the ocean and just feeling just relief, because I just feel like the ocean is a part of my blood and I never want to be far from it. And it just made me feel so relaxed, and I loved that day. That was awesome. So,
and again, it's about keeping that cup full and keeping that mind on point, because I guess probably one of the hardest things, like you said, is having your mind switched on that whole time so that you can execute everything that needs to be done. 100%.
And for me, the mental side of it is such a priority, because like I would actually love to one day become a performance psychologist if I can. And I'm so interested in like the mind and psychology, and I did a lot of journaling while I was over there, and just one of the things that I really focused on was trying to like think about what the wins were each day. Like, what have I done well? Because it's so easy to get caught up in what's not going well. Like humans are naturally geared that way. Like, we have a negativity bias, and so like each day I would just write down what am I proud of that I've done, and I think that definitely helped me, like, in a big way. So
it is interesting you say that, because I know a lot of the kids I talk with on the beach, all the different carnivals we were at, you're like, oh, how did you go? Oh, I got jagged, the guy was in 15th, and then now I'm out. And I was like, yeah, that's great, but tell me about the time when you got the wave, when you were the one that jagged from behind. They're like, oh, I don't know. I said, but again, like you said, you've got to focus on the wins that you get, so that you are having that, I guess, that peace of mind, but then also reminding yourself and being grateful for those good times when they do come around.
100%. And like that actually reminds me about what you said about kids getting jagged. Like, I think that doing surf lifesaving, it really does teach you a lot of resilience, and it teaches you to not so much be too outcome focused because of all the waves that can interfere with your results, and just like, if you haven't had the best result but you had a really good start in like a ski race, just to really remember that, and remember that feeling of being in front, and not so much focusing on, oh, I didn't do too well at the end. So yeah. So
surf is one of those interesting, I guess, beasts that were out there. Like, there was just so much in there, all the different variables that could come through. Your last Aussies campaign was back in Scarborough. Took out the open double ski with Nat Drobot. Ski relay, top 6, I think that might have been thereabouts.
I can't remember, to be honest.
But the individual is the one I want to talk about. So you came out, you were paddling really fast, you're flying at the moment. And like you said, about living with the results. So you come around the last can, first-ish, and then there was, what's that girl's name? Ali Bull and Gemma Smith?
Yeah, I don't think I was first-ish at that point. I think they'd already got me then. But no, that's actually a really good example, because when I like think back on that race, like, yeah, I didn't win that race, but like, I was so proud of how I executed that start. And
I know that, because we were on the beach there as part of that, and we can remember your tears, the pure enjoyment of getting your first open ski medal. Like, it's amazing stuff.
Thank you so much, Harold. Yeah, that was an amazing feeling, and I think that double ski, that performance that we'd had earlier that week, that was for me the highlight of Aussies that year. Like, it didn't really matter what happened to me after that. Like, we were so thrilled with that performance, and we just enjoyed that race. Like we had a good start. We went around the cans, and we just came in with everything we had, and it was a real special moment. So, yeah.
Will we see that pairing again this summer?
100%.
Aussies. Oh, locked in. So we're back. Is that it?
We're back.
We're back. All right. So that's going to be fun.
Yeah.
Karawa, where are we at? North Kira, sorry. So it's going to be half home conditions because you're up there all the time. Now, culture is a huge thing we talk about. You couldn't compete with Aussies last year, but you were adamant. You messaged the club, said, I need to come up and support the girls, and you were there for as many, Friday through Sunday, just being the coach on the sidelines, being the ear. How important do you see as your role as now a leader and now an Olympian to be able to give back to the sport?
I see that as the main reason that I do the sport, to be honest. Like, I really just want to inspire like younger girls and guys, and to just enjoy sport, get involved, and I really want to look after the younger generations coming through. And I have so much respect for all those younger guys at Avoca, younger and older guys at Avoca, and I just want us to keep that awesome culture we have, and to sort of be leaders in a way to like other surf clubs to like look at us and be like, wow, look, they've really got something, don't they? Because I think that's what Avoca's all about. So
they always do say there's something in the water there. Now let's talk through that leadership group of the people who have supported your paddling career, both on the lake and then also in the surf.
Oh, there's been so many people. It's the saying, it takes a village. Like, it has taken a village. Like, I've been through some really rough times in my life, and the people at the surf club have kept me up and kept me going. And like, that's like, I've done a lot of sports over the years, but surf club's been the one that I've done like consistently from when I was like under 8s. And so it's something that's always been in my life for as long as I can remember. And it really is a very special community of people. And I'm so grateful that this is what my parents got me involved in when I was little, because I could have lived anywhere, and this is where my life put me. So.
And when you talk about special, there's none too more special than your mum, Nikki. So whether it's at a regatta or at a carnival, she's always officialing.
Yeah.
So she's in there timekeeping, she's on the computer, she's writing the results down. Talk about how immensely proud she must be to have been, I guess, come along this journey with you, not as an athlete, but then as a parent and official, and that someone that's helped, I guess, build you and the sport along the way. It's massive.
I'm so in awe of my mum and all she does for me, and I know she's incredibly proud, but it's funny you mentioned like she's done all this volunteer work. I actually, in Paris, I traded some Australian gear for a volunteer shirt that I'm going to give her because I had really cool shirts, and I also got a really cool volunteer hat. So you could have traded with athletes from other countries, but like I wanted the volunteer gear just to sort of show her like I'm just so appreciative of, you know, how much she gives back to the community, and she doesn't really care how I go. Like she's just there having fun and chatting with all the other volunteers, and I think she sees it as a social opportunity. So
she does love a chat.
She loves a good chat, and yeah, I'm very proud that she's my mum. So
you should be. So I know that you said 2 weeks' time you can be heading across the ditch to go and visit some family over there. But what does the next, I guess, 2 to 8 weeks look like for you and your program?
Yep, so going on a road trip back up to the Goldie next week. A lot of surfing will be happening. And then, I'm going to go visit my family in New Zealand, which is where all my extended family lives. And that'll just be until around the 18th. And then my brother and my dad, they're actually born on the same day in September, 21st. And we're actually going to go to the Bledisloe in Sydney, so that'll be cool.
What team do you go for in that one? Whoever's winning?
No.
You can be greedy and do that. It's okay.
Might be the All Blacks, but that's,
oh really?
Yeah, 100%.
Is that because? What about 10 years ago? Who did you go for then? Or maybe 15. It's been a while since they've been winning.
I've always
No
gone
offense.
for the All Blacks, and
okay.
even when they haven't been going that well, which is not that often. So, still go for the West Tigers. So I'm a pretty loyal supporter, you'd say. But yeah, after we get back, go to the Bledisloe, and then back up to the Goldie, and get back into some form of training. But yeah, I want to really do a bit of board paddling, a bit of ski paddling, surfing, and mix it up a bit. Yeah. So
Variety is always good, especially when you're so focused in on one thing. Now,
100%.
What's one thing you've missed throughout that time? So whether it's food, company, friends, after being, so focused for the last 3 years, what's one thing that you're really looking at getting back into? Is it just the surfing or is there something else?
Well, that's a really good question. Because surfing comes to mind straight away. Because obviously we haven't been able to surf that much. We've been really focused on not getting injured, and so we put those sort of things on hold. I suppose for me also I'm going to sound like such a nerd, but I actually miss challenging my brain and studying. So I'd like to get back into that and hopefully do my honours next year in psychology. And do a bit more work, because we also put work on hold as well this year. It's been a very one-dimensional year. And yeah, I guess going out with friends and not having to worry about when you come home, and just taking things a bit more relaxed. So
good one.
Yeah.
All right, so a couple of questions I've asked the other guys. 2 weeks' time, it's an obscure Wednesday night, there's nothing happening. Where are you going for dinner and who are you taking out? Could be anything, anywhere, anyone.
2 Wednesdays' time?
Yep, just so you've got nothing on. Your calendar is fully clear and you have no repercussions for whatever you're doing. Where are you going, who are you going with, and what are you eating?
Probably my partner, Maddie, and would probably go to Frankie's Junior on the Gold Coast, a pizza place, and just
unleashing all the carbs.
Hook into some pizza. It's there's this particular one that's just insane. I get it every time, and I've actually convinced so many people to go there.
So is this unofficial shout out down the camera?
It is.
Frankie's?
Yeah, Frankie's Pizza at Nobby's.
Look after your
girl. And they've
girl.
also got one at Cooley's too. But that's actually a really hard question, because I could also take out so many of the amazing friends that I've got in my life. or like family. Like I might be in New Zealand then. So yeah.
Same way. But yeah, balance is key. So
Yeah.
exciting stuff. Now, another question I'd like to ask is, craft-wise, do you have a preference of, I guess, when you first started as a 17, like 18-year-old, when you were making those decisions, flat day, flogging on the lake, or catching bomb runners from the north end to the south end or south to north? What's more fun?
Definitely the latter. I love catching waves. I just, yeah, it's so much fun. The thrill of, moving so fast through the water, whether you're on a board or a ski or a surfboard or swimming. But yeah, I love catching waves. But at the same time, like, there is something beautiful about just being on the flat water and that technical prowess that you have to really think about. And that's why I love kayaking, because it's like a different challenge. Yeah.
All right. Now, with your crew, the K4 crew, a couple of questions about them. Who is the hardest one to please when it comes to decisions outside of the boat? Where we're going for breakfast, what we're doing with our spare time?
I don't think anyone's...
Well, who makes the decisions then?
Who makes the decisions? I think it depends. Yeah, I don't think there's anyone in particular that... Yeah, not me, I don't reckon. Ironically, I'm in the front, but I reckon I'm just the one that just goes along with things, I guess, with where we're going.
Which is
the girls,
quite ironic,
the girls have got
because
me
you set
sorted.
the tone at the front, right?
Yeah, but they've got me sorted. They know where we're going. Like, we all lead in different ways, I think, which is a beautiful thing about our boat. I think we all contribute differently. So yeah.
All right. So a couple of weeks ago now, the boat's on your shoulders. You're walking across to put it into the water. Heat number 1. What's going through your minds?
From a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was.
Talk us through the energy. Talk us through what you're talking about when you're walking across to the pontoon to get the boat in the water. Instructions from the coaches.
Yeah, that was our first ever race at the Olympics, and we hadn't raced since World Cup in May, and there was a lot of nerves. But as we were going down, everyone was just trying to keep it lighthearted and just.
But you knew there was stuff in the background, right?
Yeah, you can't deny you're at the Olympics. But I think one thing that we all sort of took in was the crowd. Like, it's nothing like anything I've ever raced in before. It was massive.
25,000 people.
Yeah, and it didn't matter that it was a heat, like, because people pay tickets each day and it's sold out every day. So the final day looks like the heat day in terms of like the crowd. And so I just sort of felt this energy coming off, the grandstands, and it made me feel really excited, and just it sort of focused me. I think I respond really well to just being pumped up, because it's kind of like Aussies, like, when you're on that finals day and there's a massive crowd and you're doing those transitions for like the team events, like you run harder than you've ever run before, because you feel like everyone's cheering for you, because it's not like you can really hear that they're cheering for other countries. Your brain just assumes that you've got all this support. So
it might have been the whole of Australia cheering for you guys, because it was pretty amazing. Now, going back to surf and then back to the K2, K4, so you had a double program, which you don't see too often right on the flat water, if at all. How important was having the base built from being surf lifesaving? So you turn up to a carnival, you race in the morning, you race again, you've got the relays, you've got the next heat, you've got the semi, you've got the relay finals, just back to back racing. Talk us through the mentality of that and how you were able to implement that on that flat water. Yeah,
I think it is similar in that way to surf lifesaving, where you've got to know that you've got other races coming up that day, but we'd trained to back up. Like, we've done so much training on our fitness, and we did a 3-week altitude camp in Livigno, where we were just working on ultimately improving our aerobic capacity. So we went in there really confident that we could give it our all in all the races. I think the surf background does help with the mentality around it, because it gives you that confidence that you can keep going race after race. So yeah.
It was amazing to watch, because even like you said, like outside looking in, the boys had the K4 specific K2, and then for you to be able to do that, it was at that international level is absolutely insane. But we're not surprised that the both of you could do that. So congratulations to that.
Thank you.
Now we're going to wrap it up pretty shortly. So Aussie's coming up. Looking forward to that. back on the flat water in about 8 weeks' time. How important is this reset going to be over the next 6 weeks to get you right and then figure out what the next part of your journey looks like?
I think the reset is crucial. I think it's going to be really important for me just to work out what I want to do with my life in a way, because I need to work out, am I going to do uni next year? Like, what am I going to do for work? Am I going to do support work again? Do I just want to do ski next year, or do I want to start doing board paddling? I don't know. Who knows?
It's all the same muscles, right?
Yeah, exactly. Kind of. Slightly different. But I've got a few things to work out. But at the moment, I just want to enjoy having a less structured life and just enjoying seeing people that I haven't seen for so long. I'm really looking forward to New Zealand because it's been a very long time, and I really want to see my grandparents and cousins and aunties and uncles. So,
Perfect. And any final words for our nippers at home watching?
Thank you so much, guys, for all the support, and just keep chasing your dreams, because I was just a little kid like you one day that didn't have a lot of self-belief, but here I am today having a chat with Harold, the legend, and having just gone to the Olympics. So it can happen, and you don't actually have to have a lot of belief. Just keep doing your sport, and the belief will come with time, and with experience. So keep it up.
Unbelievable words. Congratulations, Ella Beere, Olympian and all-round legend. Thanks, legend.
Thanks, mate.
So good. Episode 3, done and dusted. Thanks, guys.